For cutting a panel lengthwise and widthwise, use a cutting table with water. First, mark the new measurement with a pencil on the panel. Position the panel correctly on the stoppers and make the cuts slowly. Before cutting the first panel, the saw must be squared up. When we cut a K-SLAT panel to width, we lose one of the grooves. Place the panel on a level surface with the finished face visible. The diamond circular saw has an adjustable grooving adapter. Place the adapter on the finished face of the panel at one end of the edge to be grooved. Cleaning should be carried out as soon as the panel is cut. Use a non-abrasive brush to remove most of the dust when dry. Z-girds must be placed before ULMA's system installation. The tolerance panel, TP, must be cut and grooved, and the profiles must be pre-adjusted in advance. First, the Y corner profile is placed and fixed using clamps. Then profiles and panels are installed from left to right, or right to left. Once we have the Y corner profile installed, the support profile will be fitted first. These profiles will be secured to the horizontal Z-groove using self-drilling screws at each intersection. We'll place a piece of support profile to secure the corner profile, reinforcing the fixing. The corner panel shall be installed by inserting its grooved vertical edge first into the tongue of the corner profile and then into the tongue of the intermediate profile. To fix the profile system, you need to use a drill bit holder with a spring-loaded ball retainer. This keeps the screw in place so it won't fall while you're working. In the same column, the support profile will be installed before positioning the second panel. leaving a 1/8 inches joint with the help of a removable shim. The spacer shim is removed once the support profiles have been fastened. Before screwing the profiles to the Z-girts, it is important to secure them with clamps. Once the grooves are inserted into the profiles, we slide the panel up in order to screw the starter profile. Then we place it by sliding smoothly between the profiles from top to bottom until it is in place. At the beginning, before screwing the support profiles, it is necessary to check the level of the profile. Remember to place a piece of support profile to secure the corner profile, reinforcing the fixing. Once we have leveled the profile correctly, we mock the upper part of the profile on the Z-gird. This way, we make the installation of the support profiles easier. Every so often, before screwing the guide profiles, it is necessary to check plumb. Remember, the support profile will be installed before positioning the second panel, leaving a 1/8 inches joint with the help of a removable shim. The spacer shim is removed once the support profiles have been fastened. tolerance panel, TP, must be cut and grooved, and the profiles must be pre-adjusted in advance. Once the starter profile has been leveled and currently positioned, it must be fixed to the Z-girts. Self-drilling screws are used to secure the starter profile to the vertical Z-girt at each intersection. Before screwing the profiles to the Z-girts, it is important to secure them with clamps. In order not to damage the panels during the process, we place polystyrene mats on the floor. Panels in the same row have to be separated using spacer shims to establish the one-eyed vertical joint. This spacer shim has one side that rests directly against the profile and a small notch that sits on the profile lip to ensure the correct position in between panels. A mechanical locking shim has to be installed every 16.4 inches, replacing the spacer shim. In this case, for the mockup, we will install a mechanical locking shim in the middle and another one in the corner. The new profile to be secured will be placed on the row of panels already installed on the horizontal profile. Installation must be completed by inserting the new profile into the top or resulting groove of the panels. The panel may pivot onto the adjacent panel and close the joint at the top. We can use a spacer shims to correct it. This shim can be installed by placing it in the joint or by adhering into the profile. We will place the panels in a row as we screw the profile. Every so often, before screwing the gap profiles, it is necessary to check the level. screw the last starting profile, we must slide up the panel. Sometimes we might trim the plastic shim when it does not fit behind the panel due to the thickness of it. Before installing the last panel, we will screw an aluminum L-angle bracket at the last intersection with the Z-girth. Once the last panel is in place, we can screw the L-angle to the Z-girth laterally.